Welcome to the Exos Edge, Coaching a Winning Workforce, a video series where we talk about the future of work. I'm Michaela Foss, Senior Virtual Performance Coach at Exos, joined by fellow Exos Virtual Performance Coach, Jason Holt. Jason, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me here in hot Arizona. I don't know if it's as hot as Florida, but it's pretty hot.
Today, Jason and I are here to talk all about the impact of working with a human performance coach to help meet your goals in work and life, and to have the capacity to be ready for the moments that matter. So Jason, first off, walk me through what does it mean to work with a human performance coach in a corporate capacity?
From the corporate capacity, it's an extra set of eyes. It's just someone to basically help you weed through whatever's on the internet and social media and kind of get you a little bit closer to a plan that will actually get you closer towards your goal. So that's a lot of it, just figuring out an individualized goal using some methodology and also a bit of an accountability partner. You know, I think people often need someone to either report to or meet with once a week that can really help them get closer to their goals.
Yeah, I think individualized, that's so key because like you said, there's a plethora of information out there. And even as a coach myself, I find myself going through the weeds of, oh, well, this worked for that person and this worked for this person and maybe I should try this program or this fad diet. And it's like, no, you need someone that has that education and that really listens to your specific goals to help you create your game plan and then to refine it from there to say this is what's working, this is what's not working, and actually hold you accountable to that. So I love that. What would you tell people who assume that a performance coach is only for athletes?
I would tell them that athletes have singular focus. So their goal is to make more baskets, throw a ball better, etc. Whereas if you're a corporate employee or just general population, your goals are going to be a lot more broad. So a coach can just help the individual with the bigger picture. So if someone comes and they just say, I would like to lose weight, and then you can kind of figure out exactly what that means to them.
I think the pendulum is swinging, so more athletes are looking at those holistic approaches as well, and they're saying, I do want to perform well, but I know performance is not just about how well I am physically, but how well I am mentally as well. But at the end of the day, all humans want to increase their capacity to perform. And so I think that's totally accurate, where our corporate employees might be looking to show up better at home, have more energy for work. And that's a lot more broad than just getting better at the 40-yard dash. But it really does include all of these different strategies. So how would you approach putting together game plan recommendations for the individuals that come to you for coaching?
I think the number one thing would be to find their goal. Probably right below that, sort of 1A and 1B, would be finding the goal and then finding out exactly what their why is. So if someone comes to me, like we use the example of they want to lose weight, why do you want to lose weight? So you can kind of start from there and then dovetail and then figure out exactly how to help them reach that goal using a more holistic approach. So for example, if someone comes to us and they say, I want to show up for my kids, you know, what does that mean to you? And that's where you can get a little bit deeper, figure out their why exactly. And that tends to help people get a little bit closer to their goals because then they can actually visualize it a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but a lot of times when I run these one-on-one consultations or the first time I'm meeting with someone, I might ask them their why, and usually it starts off pretty surface level. It's like, I want to lose weight. And the more you can dive a little bit deeper, build rapport with that person and get down the why chain of why do you want to lose weight, there's always going to be a reason to keep carrying on. I think we have this arrival fallacy of once we get that singular goal, then we're going to be happy, but then another goal is going to creep in and then another goal is going to creep in. And so we have to live in a way that is always purpose-driven or with that why in mind to keep us keeping on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what are some of the benefits of performance coaching, not only for the individual, but the team that they contribute to, and then the organization as a whole?
That's a good question. So I think from an individual standpoint, accountability, just to show up and be ready for the moments that matter. I think that would be specific to the individual. From the team, I think the whole team benefits from a more ready, productive teammate. One teammate's success could ultimately ignite the rest of the team because everybody's paying attention to what this person's doing, how they're feeling, how they're looking, etc. That can definitely, you've probably had a friend that they got in better shape or they're doing something a little bit better and they start to make you feel like, okay, maybe I can do this as well. So I think that could be really important. And just learn how to manage workplace situations. I think that could be very important or very powerful from a team standpoint as well. And then from an organization standpoint, one teammate could thrive and that means everybody's thriving. Everybody's in a better place just because that one teammate is in a better place.
That's so true. Every time we have these corporate challenges for how many activities you can complete or how many workouts you can do, I always will see someone like yourself crushing it, and then I'm like, man, I need to step my game up. And so there's a little bit of that like applying pressure, but in a really positive way of if we're inspired and influenced by the people around us, we're all going to grow together versus saying, well, they're not really doing it, so I don't necessarily need to do it as well. So I think that's huge, and I think corporations supporting that and saying we're going to encourage these challenges or create those micro breaks in the workday, that's going to be really helpful and beneficial to overall productivity.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so last question. If employees have access to these performance coaches, how do they ensure that they're getting the most out of the partnership with the coach?
The most important thing is communicate with your coach. As coaches, we can't make decisions in a vacuum. We need to speak to you and understand exactly what's going on, what your barriers are. It can be very important to us because it can make it vastly more difficult if we don't know exactly what's going on because we're just kind of throwing things out there and hoping that it works out. So communication would definitely be probably the most important thing when it comes to the relationship between a coach and a member.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I always tell my clients, or maybe I say this in class, I'm here with you, but I can't do it for you. And I want you to succeed almost as bad as you want to succeed. But for you to succeed, I need to have all the relevant information, even like you said, if you don't think it's relevant. Like, let me in so that we can work together and I can hold you accountable. Yep. I love that. Awesome, great stuff. That wraps up this installment of the Exos Edge, Coaching a Winning Workforce. Thanks for all the great insights around coaching for performance, Jason.
Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure. If you want to stay up to date on the latest in the future of work, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click the link in the description to learn more.